Ezekiel is truly an exilic prophet. He was called by the Lord while in exile, and his primary audience were the Israelites in exile. Let me introduce the Book of Ezekiel to you. Ezekiel is one of four major prophets in the Old Testament, along with Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Daniel. It uses a diversity of literary styles such as narrative history, prophecies, apocalyptic imageries, and even parables to get its message across. Key characters include Ezekiel, his wife, Israel's leaders, and King Nebuchadnezzar. This book is generally divided into four parts. In chapters 1 to 3, you have the call of the prophet, followed by the judgment and condemnation of Israel in chapters 4 to 24. Then the judgment and condemnation of the nations in chapters 25 to 32, and ending with the hope of restoration for Israel in 33 to 48. Ezekiel's goal is to persuade the exiled Israelites that the Babylonian captivity was God's judgment on the sins of Israel. They are not to resist it, but to submit to it in obedience to God. However, he also encourages them with the hope that God has not abandoned them and that they will ultimately be redeemed from captivity by God and rule again by a king from the Davidic line, the Messiah. Like all the Hebrew prophets, Ezekiel's main concern was to bring God's people back to the ways and the worship of God. The book of Ezekiel has many important passages. One of them reveals God's salvation. Chapter 36, verse 26 says, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh." Another is the vision of the dry bones in chapter 37, which speaks of the restoration of Israel despite inconceivable circumstances. May your heart be encouraged to know that God can do the impossible in our lives and continue to look to Him, especially in dire situations.